So you have prior gun convictions in 1999 and 2000.
Yes.
As well as the 2014 and now this one in 2023.
Yes, ma'am.
So why is it when you are a convicted felon prohibited from possessing firearms and ammunition, you persist in doing so?
Foolish judgment.
Well, I think it's a decision on your part that you're not going to abide by the rules of our society.
No, ma'am. I definitely fully intend to abide by the rules.
But I'm talking about your past, not like what led you up to the fact that you have 4 different convictions for gun possession says to us that you're not willing to live by the rules of our society.
We're about to watch the parole hearing for an habitual offender who is caught time and time and time again. But frankly, let's not get gaslit by this parole hearing. We need to ask one question, which is why is the agenda-driven DA and judge handing out slap on the wrist sentence after slap on the wrist sentence? I am going to expose in this parole hearing just how two-faced they are. It drives, I think, all of us nuts to see repeat offenders, habitual dangerous offenders getting released back into the public time and time again, only to create more victims. Why do they do this? What is their agenda? Who does this benefit? Buckle up, because we're about to see another insane Connecticut parole hearing, and I'll go over his full extent of his criminal record at the end.
Eric Buchanan, 277005.
This hearing is being conducted in consideration of the parole application for Eric Buchanan, number 277005. He is serving a sentence of 12 years suspended after 6 years with 5 years of probation for carrying a pistol without a permit and risk of injury to a minor. As of today, records reflect a parole eligibility date of March 28, 2026. There is victim input in this case. There is an offender accountability plan. It has been reviewed and shows the offender has completed a short track sex offender program. Utilizing a statewide collaborative risk offender evaluation system, the offender's overall score falls within the high range of risk for recidivism. This is your opportunity to express to the board why you should be granted parole. You may begin.
Yes, I believe the board should grant me parole because I have come to understand clearly cause and effect. It is my own choices and actions that determine what my reality is. If I wish to maintain my freedom, then I should never even contemplate an option that could jeopardize my freedom. I have 6 children that depend on me to be an active parent, a provider, and a role model. Being absent has altered their lives, and it breaks my heart to be the cause of that. I believe the board should grant me parole because my intentions, once I am released, are to go back to work, be a responsible father, and to never again make a decision that could affect my life negatively.
Well, Mr. Buchanan, thank you for that brief opening statement. We are going to ask you questions, and we'll hear from the Office of Victim Services, and then we will discuss your case and arrive at a decision this morning. So
Yes,
I'll
ma'am.
begin with the questions. So what brings you before us today?
Can you be more specific, please?
Why are you incarcerated?
I have a firearm charge and a risk of injury to a minor, which was an extension of charges there was other charges with the risk of injury to a minor that were dismissed. So it's just those 2 charges.
So you were on probation for criminal possession of a firearm, and you were on the state's deadly weapon offender registry when you
Yes,
were
ma'am.
last out? Okay, so
Yes, ma'am.
why would you choose to acquire another firearm while on supervision and on the registry?
There was circumstances pertaining to that situation that I would challenge, but this isn't a trial, this isn't court, but ultimately there's no justification to it to even be in the environment or around a firearm or in the vicinity of a firearm. So there's no justification to it. I was in a place where a firearm was located, and that's the kind of wrong place at the wrong time, but in the vicinity of a firearm.
Okay. So that explains why you didn't say in your opening statement that you take full responsibility for the crimes you committed, because you still don't believe
I take full responsibility for the crimes that I committed for what it is. Like I said, there was as far as the gun charge itself, there was circumstances to it. Like I tried to challenge it, but I got put in a position to where I had to plea. I actually entered an Alfred plea and had to plea out to it. So it's not that I accept full responsibility for my actions, but there's
but you still deny the details.
No, I don't deny the details.
Okay, so you did back in June of 2020 threaten to shoot your wife when she wouldn't give you a ride?
No.
Oh,
No,
okay.
I didn't threaten to shoot my wife.
So she made a false report?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So you have prior gun convictions in 1999 and 2000.
Yes.
As well as the 2014 and now this one in 2023.
Yes, ma'am.
So why is it when you are a convicted felon prohibited from possessing firearms and ammunition, you persist in doing so?
Foolish judgment.
Well, I think it's a decision on your part that you're not going to abide by the rules of our society.
No, ma'am. I definitely fully intend to abide by the rules.
But I'm talking about your past, not like what led you up to the fact that you have 4 different convictions for gun possession says to us that you're not willing to live by the rules of our society.
No, I've made mistakes. I've had a lapse in
No, they're
judgment.
crimes. They're crimes, not mistakes.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I take full accountability for my actions, and I can only say as far as the past is that they was foolish decisions, and they're not decisions that I'm willing to ever make again.
Well, I'm going to tell you, Mr. Buchanan, that we make the decision about whether it's appropriate for you to finish the 6 years you have to serve out in the community on discretionary parole, and we have to base that on public safety. That comes first. Okay. So, my concerns are that you haven't taken all the programs on your OAP. You haven't taken domestic violence this period of incarceration. And you've accumulated 6 disciplinary reports that include fighting, assaults, and intoxication. So in addition to not abiding by the rules of our society, you're not following the rules of the correctional facility, which is in part keeping you out of programs that you need to better yourself and to prepare yourself to be successful when you're back in the community. Have you ever taken a fatherhood program?
I don't believe so, no.
Okay. Do you think you could benefit from one?
Yes.
I do too. Okay. I know you described yourself as a good father, but you assaulted was it your son's mother in the car in front of your son? Right?
That was the situation with my wife, and I didn't assault my son. We had a verbal.
No, I didn't say you assaulted your son. You assaulted his mother in front of him in the car, and to the point that she had to tell him to get out because you were escalating.
Oh God, there's exaggerations in that situation. Like I said, I can't. There's exaggerations in there. Like we just had a verbal. I left my wife that day. We had a verbal altercation. I just decided to leave her. There was some exaggerations in there, but like I can't change the fact that that's the statement for you. But like I said, this isn't. I can't challenge that. But there was exaggerations in that circumstances with my wife.
So when she was not willing to drive you to where you wanted to go, you didn't grab her between the legs and make offensive statements about her being your wife and, you know, that you had a right to her body?
No, ma'am, I didn't do that.
So when you told the parole officer, you know, in terms of high risks and, you know, things that you need to get right next time, that women are your problem, what did that mean?
Because just like with the situation with my wife, I decided to leave my wife, and there was ripple effects from that. And the other situation, there was other charges that got dismissed, but it was from me. Like I had issues with my son, my son Cash Barrel, and I was trying to get custody of my son, but there was no cooperation with the mother. The charges that came from that stemmed from disagreements with me getting custody with my children. So what that means is that like the situations where I have issues with my children, they need to be addressed in court, and like that's the only way to resolve those issues. And there's no cooperation with the parent.
Okay, so the problem with women is that the relationships you have, the women end up being vindictive and retaliate against you and cause you problems with the criminal justice system?
It has happened that way. It may seem but yes, that has been a result.
I encourage you to do some work, especially when you get in the domestic violence program, around boundaries, because you do have 5 children with 4 different women. So maybe you're getting into these relationships too fast, and you should be more, you should think more clearly about the choices that you're making to engage in relationships and intimacy before you really know another person.
You are.
But
You're absolutely right.
You're absolutely right. 2 standing criminal protective orders against you until the year 2028. You're aware of that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so that means, you know, no contact through social media or third parties with the victims.
Yes, ma'am.
You had a problem in the past with violating protective orders, which, you know, again, says to me that you struggle with abiding by the rules of our society. And I hope as you mature, you're now 42, that you can see your way clear to being a responsible adult who has 5 children to support.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Sarkoff, any questions?
I don't think I have any questions. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Pohl?
I have no questions.
All right, so Mr. Buchanan, we're done with the questions. We're going to turn the hearing over to the Office of Victim Services. And at this point, sir, you are not to speak.
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Hamlet-Williams?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. I spoke with the victim who is listening today, and in light of all that was said here today, she has decided not to add her input. She feels enough was said.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so we're done. We're going to discuss, and again, please don't interrupt, all right? So, Mr. Buchanan has a concerning criminal history that dates back to 1999 when he got his first gun conviction. He's gone on to engage in drug-related offenses, evading and running from the police, reckless endangerment, etc. As I pointed out, he has 4 convictions related to unlawful possession of firearms. It concerns me that he was on on supervision for a gun when he reacquired a gun, but we're not hearing that he accepts the account as documented in the police report and the PSI. So the fact that he has gotten 6 disciplinary reports is concerning because, as I mentioned, it keeps him out of the programs he needs to take, but they also involve some violence. I do not have Mr. Buchanan granted to discretionary parole today. I have many reasons, among them criminal history, offense on probation, inadequate evidence of offender change, poor institutional adjustment. Your thoughts, Mr. Zucker?
I agree with everything you said, and also denial.
Mr. Pohl?
Agreed.
Okay, any changes to the specific reasons? Okay. All right, Mr. Buchanan, in the matter of Eric Buchanan, inmate number 277005, there's a motion to deny parole for the following reasons: your criminal history, your new offenses being committed while you're on probation, inadequate program participation in evidence of offender change, and poor institutional adjustment. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Parole is denied.
This concludes the hearing for Eric.
We're done, Mr. B. We wish you much success.
Thank you, ma'am. There's no other chance that I could ever see parole again? It's just like denied, and that's.
Yeah, we're not going to bring you back for a hearing, but DOC will consider you in October of 2027.
No parole for Tate. None.
Did I say that again, please? I'm sorry.
No parole for Tate.
You'll be eligible for consideration for release by the Department of Correction in October of 2027. That's what our records indicate.
Oh, thank you for your time. Have a good day.
No parole for Tate. That was actually satisfying. Did you see the look on his face? He's like, his voice got high. Can you say that again? What? He was stunned. He was shocked. Oh my gosh, he's being told no by the system. And we're about to see another parole hearing that's actually funnier than this one. But we need to point out, this is the insanity of the system. For those who live in these communities in Connecticut where there are criminals that are getting release time, there are a few other states like this. Any state that does the no bond state, that has the agenda driven, DAs, where they just want to release dangerous felons back into their streets time and time again. The moment they get denied, they're like, what? There are consequences for my actions. But what I need to point out, and thank you, Sir Richard, for just making it so easy to understand, right? And remember, he's a sex offender too, which is not even addressed here, or he did some type of sex offense because he has to do, right? He had the sex offender program. They don't even talk about that. I actually have no information on that. And Sir Richard points out, by the way, they didn't touch on in this hearing, he has a detainer. He is a detainer to some other state or something. So they don't mention it in this hearing. Otherwise, so he's got a long criminal record, right?
Okay?
And he sits there and he tries to say,
We'll be right back.
I'm a good father. Oh yeah,
Okay.
I'm getting custody. Yeah, and you're never gonna get custody. And he tries to make himself out like this Baba Angel Aladdin, as actual Justice Warrior likes to say. And it's just so asinine. But what can you expect from a system that coddles hardcore felons? You know what the legislation is in the state of Connecticut, if you just wanted to know? For criminal possession of a firearm, up to 10 years. They can give up to 10 years. That's what the lawmakers allow if you have a possession of a firearm. So what do they give this repeat habitual offender? They give him, for his fourth firearm charge. They give him a 5-year sentence or 7-year sentence. I don't even, it's actually, they let him in, they got him in 2023. So they got a 6-year sentence, parole eligibility after serving half of it. But when you look at his record, he has here in 2020, risk of injury to child, he's given a 7-year sentence, suspended after 3, probation 5. So then I just have to ask, how is it possible that he violated two protection orders a year later? And then 2 months after he violates those protection orders, he gets carrying a pistol without a permit. What do? They sentence him to 5 years, suspended after 3. But if you owe 7 years here, how is it possible that you get more suspended sentences? It's all a gimmick. It's all a joke. The joke's on us. I mean, you just go through his record, 10/1/2020, criminal for crimes committed on 600, pled guilty, risk of injury, sentence to 7 years, suspended after 3. It's here, 2/5/2021, committed on 5/10/25, guilty, felony violation protection order, unconditional discharge. 2/5/2021, guilty to felony violation protection order, unconditional discharge. 4/3/2021, pistol without a permit, 5 years, suspended after 3, probation 5. Why? The judge has at his discretion with Connecticut law to sentence up to 10 years. It's his 4th offense. And by the way, when you're caught with a gun, see, we just hear caught with a gun. There's so much more to it. Let me share the article. These are dangerous arrests that are being made. These are look, here, so you can get a picture of what a single arrest looks like. The police were patrolling an area where they spotted a suspicious vehicle. The male occupant identified as our prince, so this was like one of his earlier firearm charges, with something in his pockets that drove by. So the pair of the officers recognized him from a wanted poster. So the Buchanan told the officers that the warrant had been taken care of, which ended up being true. Hartman said he told officers that he stuffed the marijuana in his pocket, which also ended up being true. So he confesses to having devil's lettuce in his pocket. You would think these repeat offenders would be a little bit smarter at this point. So officers went around to check the vehicle's glove compartment, and they found a revolver. He went off running. They tackled this 6'3", 220-pound man into a fence. He fought back, so they had to use a stun gun on him. So this, just being found with a gun, it's not just being found with a gun, it's a dangerous police interaction. And this was just one of his offenses. This happened in 2014. You might ask yourself, why do we keep having to arrest felons with guns on the street? This is insane, but it's Connecticut, and it's all these agenda-driven states, cities, whatnot, that like to release dangerous felons back into the streets. Now, luckily, he was denied. It felt good. The parole board did their job, but he will be getting out anyways. I guess he said now the DOC can agree to release him at 2027, even though he has an EOS of 2029. It's so strange how they do this stuff. They're always giving loopholes to release people. Anyways, let's jump into the next wild hearing.
Joshua Parham.
And number, please.
325081.
This hearing is being conducted in consideration of the parole application for Joshua Farnham, number 325081. He is serving a sentence of 10 years, suspended after 3 years jail, 3 years of probation to follow for burglary second and burglary third. As of today, records reflect a parole eligibility date of July 6, 2026. There is no victim input in this case. There is an offender accountability plan. It has been reviewed and shows the offender has not completed any program. Utilizing the statewide collaborative offender risk evaluation system, the offender's overall score falls within the very high range of risk for recidivism. This is your opportunity to express to the board why you believe you should be granted parole. You may begin.
I'm gonna tell you the truth. I don't know what to say. I don't know. I have a traumatic brain injury. It's hard for me to understand things, hard for me to express things. I don't know. I just want to get out, do good, and do the better myself. Try to do better for my family. I just don't know what to say.
Okay, Mr. Farham. we understand your challenges, and we can ask you some of the questions that we've prepared.
Okay.
And we'll begin with my colleague, Mr. Sarkoff.
Good morning, Mr. Farmer. How are you today?
Good morning. I'm all right. A little nervous.
So do you know what you're convicted of?
Yes.
Do you remember what happened?
I can't remember what happened. I say a week ago. It's hard for me to remember things. It's really hard.
Okay. But you know what your convictions are for?
Yes, I got papers and stuff. I read in the cell what I'm here for.
So what are the convictions for?
Burglary second, burglary third.
Okay. And you don't remember at all what happened when you committed those offenses?
I try to remember.
Do you know why you committed those offenses?
I guess. Yeah, I don't know. I see. It's hard for me to. It's hard for me to how do you say to explain things.
Yep. Okay, I understand. Then while incarcerated, you have not been able to complete any programs, right?
I've been on the waiting list for 1.5 years, and I'm still waiting.
Okay. How do you spend your time?
I've been helping the SEALs out cleaning. I've been being productive, drawing, cleaning, doing laundry. I've been trying to do the right thing and try to stay positive.
Okay, you know you have quite a number of disciplinary tickets.
Yeah, I had a situation with my family, and my mom passed, and I lost it, and I'm trying to better myself for my niece and nephews, and because I have them left, and trying to do better, trying to better myself.
And you know the number of tickets affects your ability to take programs in the facility, right?
I know.
Okay. Do you think you have a problem with substances?
Well, if I was to get out, if I did like meetings and programs that would help me, that can better me. Seeing here is really not helping.
But if you stop getting tickets, you might be able to get into programs, right?
I start a program tier 2 February 2nd.
Okay, that's good.
I've been waiting about almost 1.5 years to get into it.
Well, the tickets are not helping, right?
No.
That's probably why you have not been able to get into tier 2 until now, because you have tickets that are pretty concerning, right? You have tickets for fighting, intoxication.
Well, when my mom passed, I didn't know what to do. That was my best friend in the whole world.
Okay, well, thank you for answering my questions. I think that's all I have, Madam Chair.
Okay,
Thank you.
Mr. Pohl, any questions for? Just so you know, what's happening here is we're making a decision about you finishing the 3 years of the 10 that you have to serve out in the community on discretionary parole before you begin 3 years of probation. And we have to make that decision considering public safety. And you score very high for your risk to reoffend. You have a 20-year criminal history with a lot of the same behaviors. So apparently you went into the Dollar General store and walked to the back of the store and took 3 bags of cash and left the store. and you said the money was to pay back your drug dealer. You owed somebody $1,000 for crack cocaine?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Right. And then there was an incident less than 2 weeks later in Manchester. You were caught on security footage going into an apartment, and there was things taken. You admitted to breaking in and stated you needed to pay your friend for rent money. Do you have any plans for employment, Mr. Farham?
Yes, I have Web Junior Landscape, my old boss. I've been talking to him on the phone. He says if I get released from being incarcerated, that I can go work for him.
Okay, well, it's not a matter of if you get released, you will get released.
Yeah,
If we
well, no,
don't, you're not eligible until July, so that'll give you some good time to get tier 2 taken care of. And then your end of sentence is just a few months later. So you will go out this year. So I encourage you to develop your plan. You have a place to stay with your brother-in-law. It sounds like you have a job offer. But you really got to get a handle on your substance use. And tier 2 is going to be the best way to develop a relapse prevention plan so that you can go out and live clean and sober and not come back to incarceration. We hope you'll get the most out of that program. Okay, so that's it for questions. Give us just a minute to talk, and then we'll get back to you.
Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Zarkov?
Thank you. So Mr. Parham scores very high for risk of recidivism. Is here on 2 convictions, burglary 3 and burglary 2, second degree. He couldn't really offer us much in terms of explanation for why he committed these offenses. Most likely due to his condition. He has not been able to take any programs in the facility, even though his alcohol and drug score is 4. There's a number of tickets of concerning nature that include fighting and intoxication and a long criminal history and so on. I am not going to be able to support his discretionary parole today. But as you, Madam Chair, said, he is coming out this year no matter what. And, it is a good thing that he's scheduled to take tier 2 in February. But it's a denial for me today.
Yes, people. I have criminal history, nature, and circumstance for institutional adjustment.
Yep.
In the matter of Joshua Farham, inmate number 325081, there's a motion to deny parole for the following reasons: your criminal history, the nature and circumstances of your current offenses, and your poor institutional adjustment. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Parole is denied. We hope you'll use the time remaining on this sentencer to take as many programs as you can to prepare yourself to be successful. You don't have to wait until you're out in the community to do the work on yourself. There are programs there that will help you, especially with the grief that you're feeling.
Need I say more? This is case in point. This is the poster child. This is the banner to what the agenda-driven DAs want with the bail reform, with being loose on crime. This is it right here. I think this case, more than any other that we have seen, says this, how loud and clear. It's insane. Did you even hear what they were saying, that he went into the Dollar General, stole $1,000, and then 2 weeks later he was caught again? This repeat felon, this habitual offender, we'll go over his long words, was let out on probably a self-reconnaissance bond so he could commit another crime. This is it right here. You know, it's one thing when you read it in the paper or you read it in the news and you hear about the blah, blah, blah. And then it's a whole nother, right? When you see it right in front of you. He's getting out anyways. 12, 17, 2026. He's getting out. He got a 3-year sentence. We'll go over his criminal record, and then we'll see another insane parole hearing. These are back to back. These are all playing back to back. I'm not even skipping. This is what a regular docket looks like in the state of Connecticut. And you know what's funny? How she gave a little pep talk at the end. Go do your programs. And the way he's biting his nails, how disgusting, repulsive. He's the one reason if you're a kids, you don't want to go to prison, you can't pick your cellie. He might be your cellie, guys. That's what they should show people. Imagine his hygiene. It's disgusting. It's just disgusting. And you got to keep in mind, a judge handed him just a 3-year sentence. An habitual offender. Why? Why, judge? Why? Your constituency is not getting hurt enough? They're not getting wrecked enough? It's really insane. We get to watch the definition of insanity over and over and over again. So, thank you, Sir Richard, for placing it in this chart that makes it easy to digest. 7/18/2016, larceny 6th degree, 90-day jail suspended. And I want you to keep in mind, see how it says 2016? Connecticut, they erase, I've said this many times, they erase records after 10 years. So that's why it starts at the 10-year mark. He, as you heard, has a history going back as long as he's basically been an adult. Okay. 2 months later, 9/25/2016, breach of peace, 2nd degree, 6 months suspended. Why are you suspending it? You owe time here. Why? I don't know. 3/6/2019, or maybe did he get 6 months jail, suspended probation, 2 years? I don't know. How did he go 3 years without something? I don't really know, but okay. 3/6/2019, violation of probation. Probation terminated, 6 months jail. Oh, it skips. That's why. Sorry, it skips. So we're still at 2016. 11/15/2016. So this was 2 months after this. Breach of peace, 2nd degree, 6 months jail, suspended. 9/23/2018, burglary 1st degree, 5 years jail they give. 9/23/2018, interference with an officer, 1 year jail. Now, you know that it's a gimmick because it's just a month later that it's 10/15/2018, burglary 3rd degree, another 5-year jail sentence. 2/4/2020, we have to jump around. It's just the way that 2019, violation of probation, probation terminated, 6 months jail. Again, why are you getting 6 months jail when you owe all these years? 2/4/2020, burglary 3rd degree, 1 year jail. 5/21/2023, burglary 3rd degree, 3 years jail. And then this is why we're here today, 12/19/2023, burglary 2nd degree, and they give finally a 10 years jail. I don't know why they call it jail instead of prison. Suspended after 3 years, probation 3 years. So I know, I'm sorry for the confusion because it's just the way that they do it. But I think because when you have a violation of probation, it shows a different date. That's why it shows up in this order. And it would be way too complex and time consuming to make it, to order it. I think maybe we could do a filter by date. I don't know, but this is the way it is. But let's just be clear. So when you add it all up, 1 year, probation 2 years, probation 2 years, 5 years, 1 year, 5 years, that's 11, 1 year, 12, 14 years. And then on his next offense, they send him 10. So he owes 14, but he gets 10 and suspended after 3. I mean, if you count all the suspended years, as we can clearly see, it's all a gimmick. It doesn't make any sense. It's a joke. And he knows that. And everyone knows that. And this doesn't benefit anybody. It benefits no one. It doesn't benefit the criminal. It doesn't benefit the constituency. Here's a random crime that Sir Richard found. He robbed a mosque. You're creating victims every time you do this. A Vernon man now has 7 pending cases after a mosque theft. 7 pending cases. This was in 2018. This isn't even like what we've gone through. Vernon man allegedly broke into an Ellington-based mosque and fled the place of worship with money donated by members, state police said. It was his second theft-related incident this fall. The burglary took place September 12th, state police said. Joshua, he now has 7 pending cases in all after the mosque-related charges. According to the judicial system, he's in custody on bond totaling $101,500. But we know this isn't true because he got out. Remember, this happened 2018. Look at all these 2018s. And then 2019. So some judge is letting him out. He is due back in court for all the cases on November 13, according to judicial records. September 12th, 6:32 a.m. Police say a rear door was broken into and cash boxes containing mosque donations and program fees were stolen according to the warrant. The burglar left tools behind according to the warrant. Surveillance image shows the burglar running through the women's area of the mosque earlier this morning, hiding in an office when unauthorized members came into the building, and then sprinting out. He was later identified as our prince, as our Bebe Angel Aladdin. His most recent arrest in Vernon was a nighttime theft in Vernon, September 23rd. According to police, for that incident, he was charged with first-degree burglary, second-degree criminal mischief, trespassing, third-degree criminal mischief, according to the report. Drug-related charges, including interference, retribution fees. So, who is it that wants to keep releasing these habitual offenders back into the streets? Judges and district attorneys. Why? It's an agenda. It's a brain dead agenda. It really is insane. And again, we need to call this out. That's what we do here. What was the whole thing with him claiming not to remember anything? I don't know. It must have some type of medical thing because the parole board didn't challenge it. But I don't buy any of it. I mean, it could be his brain is dead with all his drugs his whole life, you know. But don't worry, the system likes him. They have his best interest in mind. That's why they keep releasing him, because clearly he's doing great. Clearly he's doing great. Can you even imagine a 3-year sentence? He doesn't even get special parole. It just has probation added on. So they can't even bring him back right away. It's just crazy. It's asinine. The judge that's involved in this needs to be, kicked off the bench because they are destroying communities. Let's go into another insane hearing.
My name is Louis Cologne, 438671.
This hearing is being conducted in consideration of the parole application for Louis Cologne, number 438671. He is serving a sentence of 15 years suspended after 5 years jail and followed by 5 years of probation for burglary second, violation of a protective order, and assault third. As of today, records reflect a parole eligibility date of July 31st, 2026. There is no victim input in this case. There is an offender accountability plan. It has been reviewed and shows the offender has completed domestic violence, embracing fatherhood, tier 2, and anger management programs. Utilizing the statewide collaborative offender risk evaluation system, the offender's overall score falls within the moderate range of risk for recidivism. This is your opportunity to express to the board why you believe you should be granted parole. You may begin.
All right. I just want to thank you for having me here and giving me this interview. I don't talk a lot of English, but I'm gonna work myself there. So my plan is when I get home is I understand what I committed. I understand that I'm here and I'm paying for what I did. I understand everything, and I just want to finish my time, go home to my kids, go back to work, to my normal life, and keep going. And like I did all these fatherhood programs, tier 2.
We read about all that. Mm-hmm.
And yeah, and if I get granted parole, I would like to keep going to these programs out in the world to get more powerful minded, my mental, and show my kids that every time you're gonna commit a mistake, think about it, because I already went through this, and yeah.
So, Mr. Cologne, the question that was put to you is, why do you believe you deserve parole? And you're mostly just telling us why you want it. Is there something that you took away from these programs that you think will help you be successful that you want us to know? So that you don't come back?
Yes, my anger management, that really helped me. I put that in my heart, as in my mind, everything. Like, before you commit something, think about it. Before you come back to this place. This is my first time. I never been through this. And this opened my head, opened my eyes, everything. And I was young for that time. And now that I got the right mind, the mindset, now I think better. Thanks to these programs.
Okay, well, that's helpful to hear. Can you tell me, since you have the certificates in front of you, when did you complete anger management?
I completed anger management 2023, I think.
What
Yeah,
month?
2020. Anger 508. September 2nd, 2023.
Okay, thank you so much. So what's going to happen now, Mr. Colon, that we're done with the opening statement, is we're going to each ask you questions. And those questions are based on the documents that we were able to read. You had a pre-sentence investigation, a sentencing transcript, a police report, and then we read about your interview with the parole officer and your progress while you were there in the facility. So after we finish asking questions of you, then we're going to discuss and make a decision. So you'll have that decision this morning. Are you ready to proceed?
Yeah.
Terrific. So we're going to begin the questions with my colleague, Mr. Pohl.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Morning, Mr. Colon.
Good morning.
So taking a look at what's here, and one of the things of your conversation with my colleague, she asked you when your anger management class was. And you said it ended September of 2023. And how many tickets did you get after that?
Well, to be honest, I got I could say 10, to be honest.
Well, there's seven.
That I got in my mind.
There's seven.
7.
So, yeah. So, but since September 2023, there's at least one that was a fight, right?
Yeah. All right. Yeah. I had a fight. This person came up to me and hit me, and so I didn't know how to react. And I just reacted the wrong way. And then when I realized, I was like, what I did.
Okay. So taking some additional programs there, that might help a little bit, right?
Yeah.
One of the biggest glaring things that I see here is a real problem with substance use.
All right. I had lost my little brother on May 7th, 2023. Ever since I lost my little brother, everything changed. I didn't know how to pick myself back from that. He was my Cody in my case. He was like my best friend. That was my little brother. That was my blood. I lost him in a car accident in 2023 on May 7th. And after when that happened, I didn't know, I was lost. I was looking for help and I didn't know where to go for help. So I started using marijuana in here, and yeah.
I mean, that's a real issue, right?
It's really not an issue. I'm stuck in here. I couldn't even go to my little brother's funeral. I couldn't even go. They didn't even let me go. So I was just lost. I didn't know. It's my first bid. That was my first person I lost in this first time in jail. I was lost.
Right. I get that, but the way we deal with the problem is to use, and you haven't you know, the last ticket I got was August, is that right?
Yeah.
And when did you take tier 2?
Tier 2, I did that on February 2024.
Okay. And so you haven't, did that give you anything to think about?
Yes, I to be honest, yes, I thought about everything, and now that I almost close to home and thing, I started realizing like I gotta put that in back and let her rest in peace and look forward. Because if I keep dragging that with me, I'm gonna keep making mistakes. That's what I don't want to do. I want to keep looking forward, let her rest in peace, and whatever happened already happened.
Sorry for the loss of brother, but
Thank you.
at the same time, it's, you know, what you were just saying, you gotta take care of you.
Yeah.
One of the things that you were able to do in the community, because this isn't the first time that you've dealt with substance use stuff, right?
Yeah.
You know, you did take some programming with AIC, right?
Yeah.
And what it said is that the background on that was that you didn't really participate.
Huh?
That you didn't really participate in what was being offered to you.
I mean, if I didn't really participate it, why they gave me a certificate? That's I didn't.
So if you show up and you are there, there's a difference between doing that, right? And actually being engaged and wanting to use what's being presented to you to better yourself, right?
But I did participate. I did participate. Participated. I did. If I didn't want to do it, I would have never went to the program.
Okay. Your work history, you have some stuff with construction.
Yes, that's my job, and I still have it. And when I come out, when I finish my time, I still got the job open for me.
That's
Kapura.
Yeah. So that may be the case. Except that the employer that you offered up actually said that they wouldn't rehire you because of your work ethic. And you're being there sporadically and your work product just being fair.
Well, I just had a talk and I still got the job. So I don't know what y'all are saying that, like, I still got the job.
Okay. So when you, the domestic violence program that you've taken, what did you learn from that?
On the anger management,
Domestic violence.
I couldn't hear you. Can you repeat that again, please?
The domestic violence program that you took?
Oh, the domestic violence program, yes. I learned from that program. Before you commit a crime, before you commit anything to a person, think about it. Think about it twice. Think about the consequences. Think about the consequences that you went through. And think about what's going to happen if you commit the crime. And I learned that from domestic violence that sometimes you got to bite your tongue and just walk away from the problem. For that time, I didn't think like that. I didn't think like how I think now. I was young. I was 23 for that time. Now I think like a grown man. Now I think better. Now I look at life better. I look at life different. I look at life like serious now.
I'm be most sort of in that, Jeff. Thank you.
So, Mr. Williams, have you taken domestic violence before? Because you have a prior victim.
Yes, that's my kid's baby mom. Yes, we had little the little domestic before, but it really didn't. It wasn't really a domestic. We had an argument. She called the cop, and that just got dissolved. That case got dissolved.
Well, something happened, and so with the current victim, we're not going to say her name on the record.
Okay.
Your relationship had already ended when you went to her house, and you were under the influence.
Yes, I was under the influence.
Why was there already a protective order?
All right, there was a protected order because we had an argument. And she said not to come back or she was gonna call the cop. I went back, she called the cop, she put a restraining order. And
No, she doesn't put the restraining order. The court puts it on you, and they have to have justification for doing so.
Yeah.
So that protective order is for no acts of violence for the rest of your life. How many children do you have now?
I have two, a boy and a girl. And when my victim, I have a baby too.
So that would
For
mean
this case.
3 children.
Yeah.
Have you had any contact with that child?
Nope, not at all. I don't even know about her, to be honest with you. I don't even know about her.
Okay, well, if you do want to be a part of that child's life, do it the right way by going to court.
I will.
I think what's frustrating, Mr. Colon, is that you've taken programs, but then you've gone on to get disciplinary reports for the very reasons you took those programs. So then that says to us, you didn't get anything out of it. And what my colleague was trying to get at, I think, is like there are different levels of participation, and you get scored from poor to excellent on a bunch of different measures: attendance, participation, homework, and all that kind of stuff. And it looks to us a lot of times like you just warmed the chair. You didn't really engage with the program that you were in, and that's why you're not getting excellent scores on those evaluations. But you don't have a long criminal history, but what you're engaging in is concerning. For some reason, you don't regulate your emotions well. You don't think. You said you're going to teach your children to think before they act. I hope you'll start to practice that.
I am practicing.
Because your history, shows somebody who, is just, your behavior is just driven by your emotions. And when I see somebody with multiple domestic violence victims, I know the problem is with them. And it's probably related to low self-esteem. Because if you feel good about yourself and you care about yourself, you don't need to put other people down to feel better. And if you're with a partner that you think is not being faithful,
only goes to law library.
then it's time to leave the relationship. And yet you were aggressive against this victim when the relationship was already over. You showed up at her house.
I sent the e-file to
You were holding a knife.
Thursday or Friday. I sent it out. I don't know.
You bit her. She was fortunate enough to be able to get the attention of a neighbor to get some help. And then you left the scene. You went running because you knew what you did was criminal and in violation of the protective order. So, you know, you're 27 now. It's time that you act responsibly, that you have a handle on your emotions, and that you treat the women in your life, especially the women who are raising your children without any help from you, with some respect. Mr. Sharkoff.
I don't have questions.
Okay, so that we're done with the questions, sir. So sit quietly while we discuss and we'll get back to you. Mr. Paul.
They did, process and taking pictures, being evaluated, going through the whole process. In the middle of my evaluation,
Mr.
I was thinking my husband,
Mr. Cologne,
and what they had said is,
history,
you got a record.
it's out so moderate, low on the
Change of blood.
exclusive we have.
I was like, at the time, I'm like, yo, wait, what's going on? And be quiet.
He is taking some programming. It's questionable for me what he's taken from them.
About a day around that time, no staff
He has received 7 disciplinary
or to approach me or give me an acknowledgement.
incarcerated. Which was in August.
That I'm in the block.
Four of those stars were in 2025.
Which now I'm telling them because
Which is concerning. The substance use piece,
my knowledge,
concerning as well.
in my own eyes, somebody that was on
And,
for years to get reincarcerated, to come back into the system.
I'm
This is unheard of.
concerned about this case, even though he is overall rating is moderate and he'd be released to a minimum supervision. So
Documentation, so it's kind of like
what you both have to say on this case.
well, after that, they had shown me, which the
Well,
defendant.
you know, as I was trying to explain to Mr. Cologne, the fact that, you know, he's taking anger management tier 2, and then he goes on to get fighting tickets, as you pointed out, and intox tickets, you know, really undercuts any sense that he's benefited from the programs and that he's changed. He had in the community a daily marijuana habit where he was smoking 3 to 4 blunts a day. So he was never not under the influence, which is why he was probably such a poor employee. And, you know, he can tell us that he has a job and he spoke to them recently, but we're looking at a pre-sentence investigation where the judicial branch interviewed the employer and asked if he would be eligible for rehire, and they said no.
And that's why
By records, attended an EIC 3 times and was not successful. So he hasn't gotten to the point, it appears to me, that he wants something different in his life and he's ready to do the work to change,
it don't matter. Once you're getting,
benefit
you're always
himself and his kids.
blood in, blood out. That's how it goes.
So I'm a deny. Mr. Zarkov?
Yeah, I think if Mr. Cologne did not get so many tickets, if he was able to articulate what he learned from the programs, this would be a very different situation. But given what we heard today, and we didn't really get into nature of the offense itself much,
Yeah.
I'm going to be denial.
I'm not even sure he's aware of the nature of the offense because he seemed surprised when I detailed it. And when he was asked by the parole officer at the interview, he came up with some strange sledgehammer story that had nothing to do with his current offenses. Okay, so I have nature and circumstance,
Yep.
for institutional adjustment, and inadequate evidence of offender change. Anything to add?
Yes, when I went to,
All right. We're ready, Mr. Cologne. In the matter of Luis Cologne, inmate number 438671, there's a motion to deny parole for the following reasons. The nature and circumstances of your offenses, your poor institutional adjustment, and inadequate evidence of offender change. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries, parole is denied.
Concludes the hearing for the list.
Like, you been in a good school, or you already have your hand, you're already found guilty.
Long.
No parole for Tate. None.
Okay.
Mr. Tate is not getting parole because of anger issues. That's what's going on here. No parole.
Yeah. Yeah. I actually have it on the side.
Malone, I understand you're frustrated, but we can't do that, okay? You're on live stream.
I'm here. That's it.
December 15th, 2022.
Whoa, and the cursing crash out at the end. What a shocker. You know, this is the thing about Connecticut. They send in these inmates without like any, in Louisiana, they have a warden there. They have someone there sitting there with them. This would never happen. But in Connecticut, the criminals run the penthouse. I don't know what was the word I'm looking for. The clowns run the loony bin. You get what I'm saying, right? I mean, it's you think he got a ticket for that? You think that there was any type of reaction? No, instead she jumps in. I know that you're upset, but this is a public proceeding. it's like the British police officers. Stop, or I'll say stop again. It's just so ridiculous. It's all of these man babies. They're a bunch of man babies that have had a system coddling them. They are coddled. There's I've had CEOs write me and say, Mandoo, you don't even know the half of it. The prisons, it's chaos. The inmates, that's what it is. The inmates run the asylum. I mean, it's chaos in there. This is what we see when they're on their best behavior. Just imagine what a hellhole it is, what type of insanity is going on in these places. And this is what happens when you run these facilities with let's treat everybody like Beba, Angel, Aladdin's. They're all just good people. They just need programs. We don't understand if they just had programs. Everything what we just saw. These 3 hearings, they all happen in order of each other. And back to back to back. Nice to see, denials. Had they been Chomo, surely the first one was a Chomo, I guess. But again, let's just go to the insanity of it, right? I mean, we have here, he was admitted 5/2/2022. He's getting out regardless 4/16/2027. So he's getting out next year and 3 months. You hear how terrifying his offenses were. It sounds to me like they could have given him a home invasion. He broke into a house, violated a protective order, right? I think attacked the woman, and they could have given him a minimum of 10 years for that. But what do? 4/29/2022, they gave him 8 years, suspended after 3, probation 5. For the violation of protective order, they gave him a burglary second degree instead of a home invasion. This is the DA, right? Giving him a plea deal to avoid a home invasion, to protect him, not to protect his victims, not to protect future victims, to protect him. They don't want to go on trial, although it would have been a slam dunk case. Instead, they plead down to burglary second degree instead of what was a home invasion. He violated the protective order. They give him 7 years jail, suspended after 2, probation 5. But they're running concurrent. So it's a gimmick. And then they give him assault third degree. They give him less than a year in prison. But altogether, he gets a whopping, I don't know, I guess 5-year sentence. Is it even 5 years? 2027, 5/2. I mean, I guess about 5 years. So I don't know. Where does the 5 years? Maybe they're running consecutive. Maybe they're running consecutive. Let's see. Arrested 4/29/2022, crime. Okay, pled guilty to felony burglary second degree, violation of protective order, misdemeanor assault third. Was sentenced to 8 years, execution suspended after 3, probation 5, 7 years executed after 2. So I guess okay. So I have to take it back. I guess it was consecutive. That's why he has a 5-year sentence. But it's still a gimmick because they could have gone him for, I think, up to 20 years for the home invasion. And this is all Connecticut wipes out, the records, anything after 10 years. That's why we don't have anything more than this. If there are no news articles, this is it. But as we heard, he has a long criminal record and he's dangerous. And what does Connecticut do? They just let me give you a little slap under his sentence. And there should be a way, I think, when you have a horrible record in prison, like they just need to change it. If you're going to have suspended sentences, you're going to have, and of course, that's what parole is, I guess. What am I saying? I'm asking for them to do what they already do. The whole idea of discretionary parole is if you do well in prison, you get out early. And he didn't, so now he does his full term. But think about how dangerous he is. Think about what might happen when he gets out. This is how people die. Oh my gosh. So, anyways, I think that the point was proven. This guy was, oh my God, this one of it all is. I felt like actually the cases were getting wackier as they went. I didn't plan it. I just went in order. I did one and I said, okay, let me see this next one. That was short. I could fit another. Oh, wow, this one's crazy. Oh, this one's crazier. For those of you who stuck around, it's worth it. But I don't know. Let's see what the next. I'm gonna go check out what the next 4 parole hearings were from Sir Richard's spreadsheet. They look pretty bad, but anyways, I think this was proof. Again, you just see it. It's these. It is an agenda driven. The more I watch this, the more I realize that I used to say insane, and I still do say insane, but it actually is. There are agendas, and not to get into the whole, but it's a pretty simple situation. So, from my understanding, they're elected positions, right, to be a district attorney, and very few people vote for these elected positions. People aren't even aware that it's happening. So that means that a little bit of money, even just a little bit of money, can win an election. It can sway an election. And you do have folks, maybe like George Soros, who says, well, look, I want to be able to make things work under my agenda, right? I believe that a light on crime will put the world and make the world the way that I want it to be. So he donates money to these agenda-driven DAs that meet his criteria, bail reform, all that stuff, and he wins them elections. It's very simple because it doesn't take a lot of money to win an election because very few people even vote. And then he does this, and then you see this happening in these states where it's now just chaos. It's complete chaos, and no one benefits. And how do we change it? I think really the only way to change it is for more of the public to vote and understand that we can vote. And it's like, it take like initiatives, grassroots initiatives, another, maybe like, I don't know what it is. It's like, it's a big picture thing. It's hard to quite wrap my mind around how to solve the problem. But the problem is solved once enough people realize that they can make a difference. And I think when district attorneys, judges, when their decisions are made public, when their records are made public. And I've been thinking of a business idea to help do that. I'd have to raise money, and I don't know and it would be like a full-time job, but I've started companies before. I know how to do it. I know how hard it is, and that's why I'm hesitant. But in a nutshell, for those of you who are still here, thank you for listening to me ramble. But in a nutshell, the idea is to make like a it would be a website that you can go to very, very quickly see a district attorney's record. And I think you can do that where it would be like a baseball card. Just like if you're any of you familiar with a baseball card, basketball card, the front, it has their picture, their county, the years that they've been in service. And then the back, it's just the stats. And it won't show the stats that they only want to show, like their winning percentage, because that means nothing. That's where they gaslight us. Oh, I won 99% of my cases. Yeah, well, what about the 1,000 cases for the chomos that you gave plea deals, right? So, and it would show how many sex offense case they gave plea deals for? What were the average sentences? And it would be stats. And then this way, when you go up to election, instead of it being complex, which is the way they want it, you go to the website, you type in the name, ooh, it's right there. Very simple, card front back. And they look at it and I'd be like, I don't want to elect you. You literally gave 1,400 plea deals to the worst type of sex. Why? And I think that it could be successful. I think there could be enough, the way to do it as a non-for-profit even, but it's really difficult because every single state and then city and then county and then they all collect their data differently. They keep it's like centralized data. That it's how do you even get access to it, and they report it differently and they share it differently, or they don't share it at all, and things happen behind closed doors. And that's the thing. I don't know how to solve that part of the problem. But it's I don't know if I launch something like this, would what do you guys think? I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comment section. I digress, but I've been thinking about it. It's more than just spewing. I want to solve the problem.
Xavier Good, 356-993.
This hearing is being conducted in consideration of the parole application for Xavier Good sentence number 356-993. He's serving a sentence of 7 years, suspended after 3 years jail, followed by 2 years of probation for assault third, threatening second, interfering with an officer resisting, engaging police in pursuit, and violation of probation with underlying charge of assault second. As of today, records reflect the parole eligibility date of June 21st, 2026. There is no victim input in this case. There is an offender accountability plan. It has been reviewed. It shows that the offender has completed Tier 1 program. Utilizing the statewide collaborative offender risk evaluation system, the offender's overall score falls within the very high range of risk for recidivism. This is your opportunity to express to the board why you believe you should be granted parole. You may begin.
For starters, I would like to thank y'all for your time. Good morning to everybody. The decision is y'all to grant me parole, but I think I believe, there's some things that I overcame on my own, the jail hasn't really helped me rehabilitate as much. I can honestly say that because they don't give you no programs. The programs that we be on the waiting list will wait us extensive time. And then say we get a ticket for something unrelated to our OAP, we have to wait X amount of time to get into that class, and then you penalize us going forward. Now we can't even get into that class until ticket clears. All right, and then when you go to these hearings, you got the same person that's charging you, prosecuting you and judging you. So you take the lesser of two evils. So it doesn't never necessarily tell the whole narrative when you catch these tickets. But for the things that I've done, I do take responsibility of. And simple, when you go into these hearings and you say, well, you're not going to win. You tend to take the sanctions of 30 days rather than 90 and be penalized going further. I'm lost either. I lose either way. But as far as like programming, you don't give us the opportunity to actually get to that. I've been on a waiting list for Voices, I believe, since February of 24. My opportunity to get into it, it's probably like last year in September.
I looked it off the rip. I'm like, damn, like you're not even.
I've been waiting over.
We understand what you're talking about, and I think it's addressed in the inmate handbook. What we were hoping to hear from you is about why you believe you deserve parole in terms of the efforts you've made to rehabilitate so that you don't return to prison.
Right. It's basically my support system. My support system, they work with me from here, from over the phone, inside and out, jobs, helping me create resumes. All of this is being helped mainly through me and my family. So it's like, and I've learned certain things, like every situation doesn't have to be, attacked with word, combated with words. Certain things just left to the wayside. There's more pressing issues than, child disagreement with him about child, or you know what I mean? Like certain things, like I've learned certain things to let certain situations go rather than let them fester. And I understand that it takes more energy to be angry than to find a solution. But as far as going home, I know I have a great support system that's, you know, helping me with jobs, resumes, and housing. That previously, before coming into jail, I think part of the reason why I hadn't had so much success out there because I had nowhere to live. I was homeless. So you either choose park bench, sleep outside, first coming home, or go to what I know. And I always resorted to my old ways. Nowadays, I have a home, I have a job, I have family support, whereas I didn't have that before.
Okay. All right, so that'll be there for you regardless, because you will finish your sentence this year.
What he was doing.
So we're
Say it
looking,
again?
you will finish your sentence this year.
Correct.
And because you're designated 85%, you're not eligible until June to go out.
Right.
And then, like I said, it's just a few months difference. So what's going to happen is we're each going to take turns asking questions of you, and then we'll discuss your case and make a decision. And I'll begin with the questions. Okay. So you want to go live with your brother and your mother in New Jersey, and they have confirmed that you may go there. So that's good. What are they doing, or what have you done to line up work for yourself?
Well, my father also lives in New Jersey. He actually been working at the job. He's the manager at his job. He's working there for the last 10 years. He's got me with job placement. So as far as like work, I know that in New Jersey, I have that available.
What is the job placement you're referring to?
It's in a warehouse. He's a manager at a warehouse, and he's doing mold work. He's got him in different departments.
Okay. So the last job you had was in 2022. Have you worked there in the facility?
Have I worked in this facility? Yes, not in this facility, but in New Haven.
Okay,
New
what were you
Haven
doing
County.
there?
I was tierman. I did the
Okay.
serving, I did the cleaning, I should have work reports to support that as well.
And so you do know how to step up and be a good employee and handle your
Absolutely.
responsibilities. You have a strong work
Absolutely.
ethic.
Absolutely.
Okay, well, I'm asking that because, your lifestyle was one of hustling. And, if you're going to go out under your dad's good name, you want to make sure that you bring honor and integrity to his name and not cause problems at the work site that embarrass him having, offered you the opportunity. You don't want to make him look bad.
May I say, that was the purpose of my change, though, the environment change. So I can, I'm away from all the negativity that I would be drawn back to as soon as going home, as quick as going home when I feel like at a desperation or in a position.
Well, it sounds like a fresh start. So back in July of 2024, you had a lunch job. What were you handing out trays?
Yeah, that was a tierman. It was you had the lunch, you had cleaning the tiers, it was a bunch of, you basically had the dorm. You cleaned the dorms, you passed out the trays because there was no chow hall.
Okay. So what I was reading, and the reason that I thought it was separate is because that July, you've been incarcerated for about 4 months at that point, and you were removed from the lunch job because of your poor attitude and performance. What happened?
The CO had asked me, but not necessarily asked me a question. I was trying to ask her a question, and her response was kind of negative, but I just didn't know how to deal with it at the moment. because I was just waking up, but it's no right excuse. I still should have been able to conduct myself, but it wasn't as far as like poor performance as in passing out trays. It was just our shared words back and forth. And I agree that, I mean, I could have said some things differently, you know, like I'm saying, but I believe I said something along the lines like I can step off for today. Like, you know, somebody else can do this. And she said, you sure can. And she fired me.
I know they're gonna say no.
You had started working on a CDL. How far did you get?
I really just started the process. Prison stopped me from going further. It was in January of 24, I believe. The beginning. I was supposed to start Oh, that's next door.
Well, what's the status of your driver's license given your evading police and engaging them in a pursuit?
Everything has to be repaired once released. I got to take the proper steps, paying off my opening up my cases, paying my tickets off, or whatever restitution I have. Well, I don't know if I have any, but whatever that's there, I have to pay that off before completed. Right.
Okay.
But as far as that,
that was a crazy situation. Why were you unwilling to pull over and deal with the police responsibly?
I understand. I know they're gonna say no, but I just gotta start somewhere.
To be honest, there's no right excuse for it. There's no right excuse. It was stupidity
I'm
on my
not
part.
looking for an excuse, Mr. Good. I'm looking for what was going on in your head at the time. Why wouldn't you do it?
I didn't want to go to jail.
Because they didn't calculate my time right.
Do you appreciate that your poor choice made your situation even worse?
The time in the game,
I'm aware of that.
Your last ticket.
Yeah.
I'm aware of that.
You know, and I bring it up because what we're doing today is making a decision about whether it's appropriate for you to finish the 3 years you have to serve out on discretionary parole before you begin probation. And we have to make that decision considering public safety. And, you know, in this attempt to avoid the police, you were clocked at speeds of 100 miles an hour. They had to deploy stop sticks, and then they had to tase you. I mean, you were really out of control.
No. That's a whole nother situation. They didn't use stop sticks and tase me at that time. I was caught in Rhode Island. No, Rhode Island, that's on video. It's public record. You can see that. I never was tased during that encounter.
Well, regardless, our records indicate something different. You were still jeopardizing the safety of everybody out in the community on our roadways and pedestrians by going at an unreasonably unsafe speed. You score very high for your risk to reoffend. Your criminal history dates back to 2010. And this third period of incarceration, you've accumulated 9 disciplinary reports. And it doesn't matter whether the disciplinary report corresponds to the program on your OAP. If you can't conduct yourself appropriately in the facility, then they assume you're not going to conduct yourself appropriately in a program in a group setting. And that's why they keep you out of the groups. So
with all due respect, I understand what you're saying, but when you go to the hearings, even if I feel that I'm just in my actions, I can't combat the reasons. If you're telling me I'm getting 30-day, 90-day sanctions or 30-day, I may feel that I am just in my actions and I can't go forward and fight these because the
So, Mr. Good, of the 9 disciplinary reports, how many of those do you actually accept responsibility for?
There's, I mean, if you go down the list, I could probably tell you, I don't know which 9 you have before you, but if you go down the list, I'm going to take responsibility.
From this period of incarceration, I'm just ballpark, half of them? 2 of the 9? Like,
No, I know the things that I did do. That's obvious that, okay, I offended for this, but how do we find help for that? If I'm the one with the character defects, I come in here with the jail for rehabilitation. This correction officers don't help you rehabilitate.
well, I agree that anybody, as soon as they get a fighting ticket, should be put in anger management. But that's, you have the handbook, you know how things work. This isn't your first time at the rodeo.
Even before a fight, how do you combat those? Where's the resources to combat that situation, to avoid those situations? I'm the one coming into jail with the character defects. I want help. How do you receive help? If you put me on an extensive waiting list saying you have to wait till this, I'm waiting a year to get in it, and then you give me a ticket for something unrelated to why you say I need help. So I'm not denying the fact that there is things that I've done wrong and I take responsibility for those, but who is to help me if this is what jail is for? If they're not helping me in this space, of course they're not going to help me outside. I have to help myself.
Well, it begins with you, that's for sure. Absolutely. And once you show the positive mindset and attitude, then people will work with you. But when you remain problematic in your behavior and your attitude, you do yourself a disservice.
I understand what you're saying, but that what you're reading on paper doesn't tell the whole narrative. You're not here in jail. I understand it, but you're not here, so you don't know.
So you can only tell what
somebody's telling you.
You were on probation at the time that you got these new charges, and probation put you in AIC in 2024 to help you.
No, I put myself in AIC. I chose to do that. I did that because I had nowhere to live.
Well, then why were you not successful if you were so motivated?
Because I'm from New London, and in New Haven, they have buses that go 163A, 163B. I'm not familiar with that. In New London, we could take one bus and go around the whole town, and we have shuttle buses. I'm not familiar with the travel time, but that's still no excuse. I call to let them know, listen, I'm on my way back, but I'm late. I have all my clothes, everything that I just bought, and tags and everything. Why would I run? They said, well, we have to talk to the director. This is at 11 o'clock and it's raining. I can't get a charger and I can't come in to receive none of my belongings. I have to wait. That's all right. Well, who am I waiting for? The director to give a call back to say whether I can come in. What am I to do until then? If they don't give a response. And so I left. I went back home. I went to New London, where I'm from. What it did was switch my probation back to New London, where I'm from. But I was proactive into making a difference because I know what I was up against going home. So I went to AIC.
Mr. Good, the proactive approach doesn't work when you aren't willing to ask for permission and take the steps in the right order. So
what do you mean? Took the right order to go to? That doesn't make any. Maybe you're not following me right. What do you mean take the right step and ask permission?
You don't get to change your probation location. You have to request it.
I didn't do that at all. You're missing me entirely, but I understand. I don't understand. I put myself in AIC. I didn't get to change my probation status. I got kicked out of AIC, so I had no choice but to go back home. My probation wasn't out of Waterbury. My probation's out of New London. So I went back to where my probation originated from. How is that choosing my location?
Hey, Mr. Good, I don't have any more questions for you.
All right, thank you.
Maybe my colleagues do. Mr. Zarkov?
I don't, thank you.
Mr. Pohl, any questions for Mr. Good-Sutton?
I understand Mr. Good is frustrated. However, it's late. I don't know that we're gonna get anywhere with questions. I'm sorry.
In reading the interview with the parole officer, I made a note to myself because I was kind of impressed. He said when he was asked what he needs to do to stay out of trouble when he's released, he said, "Give myself an actual chance. Stay the course." So I hope he will. You know, some of what we've talked about today has been, you know, being his own worst enemy, getting in his own way. And hopefully he will go out and give himself an actual chance. He's extremely fortunate to have a support system and a place to go, and people who will help him get on the right path so that he can have a good and successful life. So having finished the questions, and having started that exercise, you know, we're talking about 4 to 6 months difference between his 85% eligibility and his end of sentence, depending on which end of sentence date you look at. And he still has many programs on his OAP. He hasn't had a DR since November. So maybe that's was November. Yeah. So as that clears, maybe it will afford him an opportunity for some of the programs that he said he wants to do. So I do not, in the interest of public safety, have Mr. Goodsutton granted today. Mr. Sarkoff?
I agree.
Mr. Pohl?
I agree. I just hope that, you know, I hope that he can do some things to turn it around. And I hear him wanting to do some things to turn it around. However, the DRs and lack of programs, it's to get to suitability. I just, I can't get there.
Yes. So I have criminal history, offense on probation, inadequate program participation, and poor institutional adjustment. So in the matter of Xavier Goodsutton, inmate number 356993, there is a motion to deny parole for the following reasons: your criminal history, your new offenses being committed while you are on probation, your inadequate program participation, and poor institutional adjustment. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Motion carries and parole is denied. We wish you much success, Mr. Goodsutton.
Thank you.
This concludes the hearing for Xavier Goodsutton.
Who would have thought we'd see so many denials in a row? And yeah, sorry for the psych out. I know we said we are going to end there, but then I just saw this hearing and I said, I'm going to do like a 2-hour docket with back-to-back hearings. This is a full day's docket, except for one hearing. The first hearing, there was a serious tromo. I wanted that to be standalone to give it the respect it deserved. But these all fit into, this bucket, back-to-back. Look, I mean, even Mike Pohl could take his rose-colored glasses off sometimes. I want to tell you the chomo, who was horrible and had the victims crying for them not to release their perpetrator, at least to wait till she graduated high school, he granted anyways. But he was able to deny for these hearings. And this guy might even be worse than all the others that we saw. And every time he opened his mouth, he was lying. Pretty ridiculous, right? But let me just show you again his record. And anyways, he's getting out anyways in 12/2/2026. So it's like, let me just go over it with you. And okay, so thank you, Sir Richard. Everyone, thanks Sir Richard in the comment section, please. We have 10/26/2018, 90 days jail, suspended 1 year. And remember, again, like his record goes back to 2010, but they don't show us that because Connecticut expunges that, on their system. 2/1/2022, violation of probation, probation terminated. 2/4/2019, 4/9/2019, interferes with an officer. They give him 1 year suspended. 12/17/29, assault second degree. Assault second degree is pretty serious. 5 years, suspended after 2, probation 3. We know that, he doesn't serve much because 3/30/2021, he gets strangulation. He gets just 364 days jail. You might, again, you could say if you just start calculating it, well, he has suspended 3 years here. He has suspended year and year. Why is he only getting 364 in jail? Why isn't he serving the time that he needs to serve? He also had reckless endangerment because it's a gimmick. And we went through this. I guess I don't need to repeat myself. We get it. You guys are following. So let me just go over his crimes. 12/2/2022, assault, 1 year jail. We go back up here, 5/4/2023, violation of probation, but probation continued, so they don't do anything, even though he violates. 3/1/2024, interference with an officer, 90 days. 4/4/2024, so a month later, even though he owes all this time, he gets 1 year, but suspended. Probation 2 years. So this habitual offender, after all these records, is still getting suspended sentence with probation. How does that make sense? The math never maths. Here he engaged in another police pursuit, 90 days jail. That's all he got for a police pursuit. Then a month later, he gets assault third degree, threatening physical threat. He gets 6 months jail. And then 5/16/2024, he gets larceny, 3 years jail, but suspended, probation 2 years. Suspended. They give it suspended, 5/16/2024. And then it's weird. I don't even understand how this works with the dates, but it goes through the list, or Richard puts it all in here. I have the records showing the crimes that he did, and basically, they went to pull him over. He went 100 miles an hour. He crashes. No, they do the spike strips. Even though then he runs, and then they tase him, and that's just like one incident you would think you would get. But at being an habitual offender, I've lost steam. I can't even yell anymore. I'm just proving my point. What judges and DAs will give him another slap on their, and he'll be out. He'll be out in like a year. Good job keeping our community safe. Let's go into one more hearing. I haven't seen it yet. Let's see what it is.
Lionel Mosley, 298-334.
This hearing is being conducted in consideration of the parole application for Lionel Mosley, number 298-334. He is serving a sentence of 12 years, suspended after 5 years jail, followed by 5 years on probation for possession of narcotic substance, evading responsibility, injury or property damage, 2 counts of violation of probation with underlying charges of failure to appear first, violation of probation, larceny first, and failure to appear first. As of today, records reflect a parole eligibility date of July 30th, 2026. There's no victim input in this case. There is an offender accountability plan. It has been reviewed and shows the offender has not completed any programs. Utilizing the statewide collaborative offender risk evaluation system, the offender's overall score falls within the moderate range of risk for recidivism. This is your opportunity to express to the board why you believe you should be granted parole. You may begin.
Hi, how you guys doing? I've been shot 8 times, and I came to jail right after that. My conditions have gotten worse since I've been in here. I became a diabetic. Blood clot wrapped around my lungs where I almost died. So I'm not getting the proper care while I'm in here. I just left the infirmary August 1st.
where I feel like I should be because I need the help, like the constant help. But I'm in a regular block where I get no help at all. I'm not getting therapy here. My family needs me. My mom is getting older. It's just a lot. She asked me the other day, the snowstorm, she said the neighbors had to come help her. And I am her son. I feel like I should be there to help her.
It does not make sense.
Not sitting in prison for drugs or whatever charges I got. And it's just, yeah. I'm getting older. Well, I am older. I'm 40. And I didn't realize time flied by so fast. Just a couple of years ago, it was 2016. And it went by so fast. Now that I'm sitting in here, I don't have no more time to waste. I'm just, my health is deteriorating by being in here. I'm not getting better at all. I just want to get out there, put all this behind me, work, help my family, and start this new chapter in my life. I want to help society now. I don't want to hurt society. I hurted society for a long time. And now I feel like I'm in a new chapter where I'm going to help society. And that's pretty much it for right now.
Thank you, Mr. Mosley, for that opening statement. We're going to take turns asking questions of you, and then we will discuss your case and make a decision. We're going to begin the questions with my colleague, Mr. Sarkoff.
Okay.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good morning, Mr. Mosley.
Good morning, sir. I'm sorry, I'm not really.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, I'm not to cut you off. I'm sorry, I'm not really a good speaker. So you guys gotta work with me a little bit. And I'm a little nervous.
Most of your offenses go back to 2018, right?
2018.
Can you tell us what was happening with you at the time?
I had lost my job and I got fired kind of for no reason. I was doing good and it kind of like pushed me to other means of making money. And I ended up being in the streets a little bit, selling drugs. But I take full accountability for that. And I just want to put that in the past. I don't want to live like that no more. I want to start working as soon as I get home.
Why did it take so long to adjudicate your cases?
Because in 2017, 18, I caught the cases. 2019, I got shot 8 times outside of a bar, a club. It had nothing to do with me. It just was a random shooting, and I got shot in the mix of it. And they prolonged my cases because of my health. I was in the hospital for like 16 months, and then I started rehab. Then I started back going to court. Oh, and COVID too, stopped it.
Right.
So in 2021, I came in for the cases.
2021, you started to go to court again?
Yeah.
Oh,
yes.
Yes. 21 was, yes, okay. So you've not been able to complete any programs in the facility, right?
I was in the hospital from when I first got here to August 1st of last year. I just went to the regular block recently. So where I was at, they don't, like I was kind of bedridden because of my injuries. Like I got wounds in my body, like open wounds. So they had me bedridden and they finally let me out, but I still got the wounds. So I don't know why they let me out, but they don't let you do it while you're in there. They don't let you do no programs in there, in the infirmary.
So how do you spend your time now? What do you do?
Now I wake up 4 o'clock. I go get my meds. I go take my shower all the way in the infirmary. I come back, get dressed, go back. They do my dressing. Then I go to the gym, work out a little bit with the guys. If I'm not in pain, some days I can't get up because I be in pain, but most of the times I try to go and work out. And I read a little bit, watch TV, talk on the phone to my sister and my mom. That's it.
Have you thought about going for your GED?
Yes. Well, I was gonna do that when I get home because right now I can't do it in here because my health. So it'll be hard for me to like stay in class and like I got health issues that I got going on constantly that I'm dealing with. Like far as cathetering myself, open wounds, like I can't go up there right now.
Okay.
But when I go home, I'll be able to do that.
So you got 3 tickets this incarceration, right? The last one was back in May of 2022.
Yes, but those tickets was on because I came in for a violation of probation, right? And this case right here, I wasn't sentenced on yet. I just got sentenced on this case in January 2024. So I haven't had any tickets from this case right here that I'm dealing with right now, that I'm trying to make parole on. Those cases was those tickets from when I first came in.
In my notes, you were sentenced in January of 22. Unless that's wrong.
No.
But anyway, it doesn't really matter for our purposes. It doesn't matter if you were pre-sentenced or sentenced. We look at your conduct while you're incarcerated. So,
yes.
Can you just tell us what happened? It was an assault on DOC employee.
No, they basically beat me up in Corrigan. I didn't assault them. I'm in a wheelchair. They threw me out the wheelchair on the floor. So I can't assault on the floor. I was on the floor the whole time. And they basically like beat me and then maced me and brought me in the cell. Then they kicked me out the jail to Bridgeport and kept all my property.
Why do you think you got that ticket?
I got the ticket was because it was over something stupid. It was over a watch. They was telling me that I couldn't wear my watch going out. And I was telling them I went out a week before and I had my watch on and the lieutenant let me go out. So I was just asking them like why I couldn't wear the watch. And up there, they're kind of like zero tolerance. They don't want to talk. You do what they say and that's it. And I was kind of like kept asking them about it. And they got aggravated with me and dragged me in the room and threw me out the chair while I was trying not to go in the room.
Okay. So you still have addiction services on your OAP, also voices and your thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like you have an issue with substances?
No, not really, but I could always use some work. And I'm not perfect. Like I would like to get into programs when I get out there. I would like to do stuff that's gonna help me when I get home, like far as like drug programs, mental health. I need to work on my mental health too, and my therapy.
Who do you think has been affected by your offenses?
Huh?
Who has been affected by your offenses?
Well, the community, because drugs is not good for anybody. So when you sell drugs or like you're hurting the person that's doing the drugs, you're hurting their family, you're hurting their kids. So I don't want to do that. I want to help now. I'm at a stage in my life where I want to help society. I don't want to hurt society no more. And I surrender my life to God. I don't want to hurt anybody, or I just want to be there for people. Not just my family. It could be a stranger. I just want to help out, man.
Can you talk about your plans when you're released?
I'm gonna work at this place called Lacey Manufacturing. We make surgical parts for the hospital, and all I do is sit at a station. I put the part in the machine, click it, put it in a basket. So I don't really have to stand up because I can't walk. I'm a paraplegic. So I won't have to stand up for that job. I'll just pull up to the desk and sit there. And I know people that work there, so I will be able to get in that job as soon as I get home.
Okay. How do you know about that job?
Because I have a friend that worked there and a family member that worked there. And I used to.
How do you think you've changed from this incarceration?
I'm more caring, like as far as like about other people's feelings and like I just want, like, my mom is getting older, I'm getting older, time is flying. It's a lot going on in the world right now. And I feel like tomorrow's not promised, so I just want to do better now in life. I don't want to keep effing up. I want to straighten up my life. I'm in my 40s now, so now it's downhill.
Ouch.
It is. I'm sorry.
Guess I start digging my own grave. Jeepers.
It is though.
What do you think is going to be difficult when you come out?
Starting off, because I'm starting off from nothing. So it's gonna be a little hard, man. I'm not gonna sit here and say, oh, I'm gonna go right out there and do good. It's gonna be hard starting off. So I'm gonna have to struggle and toughen it out to get where I'm trying to go. And going through getting shot and not being able to sit up and can't even drink water and going through the things that I went through, now I feel like I can accomplish anything. Before I came out, I was doing good, but I still had these cases over my head. I had my own apartment. I was going to therapy. I was doing good, but I still had these cases behind me. So now that I'm in right now, I just want to put this behind me and do positive. That's all. And I'm gonna do it. Not to be cocky or anything, but I'm gonna do it regardless. I haven't written anything down or anything because I said I'm gonna come in here and be truthful. I'm not really a good speaker, but I know how to be real. So that's all I could do, really.
Okay, Mr. Mosley, thank you for answering my questions. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you.
Mr. Pohl. So, Mr. Mosley, the parole officer has been unable to reach your mother to confirm that she would sponsor you.
My mom kept trying to call, but I guess they couldn't reach each other. She kept trying to call, but she said she couldn't get her. But she's definitely gonna sponsor me.
Does your mom live in her own house or is it an apartment?
My mom and my father live together. They're still together. They own their own house. And
Okay.
that will be the house that I'm going to.
Okay.
I have my
Have
own
they been
space
able
downstairs.
have they been able to make it accessible for you in your wheelchair?
Yes, I can make it. Yes, it's downstairs. I can get in the house.
There's a downstairs apartment? Is that what you're talking about?
Yes, it's like in the back. I could go through the back where I could go right down. It's level downstairs.
All right. So we don't have any more questions for you.
And my neighbor, not to cut you off, and my neighbor, he's in the wheelchair too, and that's my guy. So he could give me some pointers too. Not to cut you off. I'm sorry.
It's fine, sir. If you'll give us just a few minutes to talk about your case, don't interrupt us, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Zarkov.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So Mr. Mosley rates moderate for risk of recidivism. He does have a criminal history. This is his fourth prison term over a year. He still has a number of programs on his OOP, including addiction services, voices and new thoughts.
They remove voices.
They remove voices, okay. He does have 3 tickets, but they do go back to 21, I'm sorry, 2022, May of 22. My concern here is that he hasn't really done any programs. Would love for him to see addiction services. COS is not until October of 28th. Sure, I'm not there today. I will be open to potentially there.
Mr. Pohl?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I came in here feeling, after reading everything, feeling a little different than I feel right now.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
So one of the things that concerned me was the May 22 ticket for assault on DOC. The description of it was that he was grabbing at somebody's leg that was trying to cross, and so it's not, from what I see, it wasn't like a violent attack on DOC, because that would be a zero start for me. That was anything that even looked like that. He's here for a violation based upon, he's got possession of intent to sell a narcotic substance. He in 24, the conviction for the motor vehicle piece of it back a while.
2018.
2018. And the series of probations that he's on was a result of the violation, the result of his arrest. New arrest. I don't think that Mr. Mosley is in a situation where that can very much occur. Consider his physical restraints or constraints, that be more appropriate word, I believe.
Well, he's had a life-altering event. So life going forward out in the community won't look anything like it did before.
Right.
He's incredibly fortunate to have a support system and people who want to be there to help him.
Right.
he's doing a lot of talk about helping society. And I'm not sure he has a plan for how he's going to do that, but at least that shows some indication of change. I was concerned at the statement, that his criminal behavior hasn't affected others, when quite to the contrary, it has. And yet they remove voices from his OAP that would help him see that. Probation had him in treatment. I'm not sure keeping him for 2.5 more years to do programs is focusing in the right direction. I think he needs to be back in the community, getting his life in order, as it looks quite different. And it's an override. I mean, he's not high risk or very high risk, he's moderate risk. But I hear him talking about wanting better for the remainder of his life in his ripe old age. So I wished he'd taken responsibility for the DRs, but he didn't. I think he got the 5 years to serve because he was peddling heroin and crack. And, that's going to get you that kind of sentence, because those are powerfully addictive substances. And he was, dealing at the height of the opioid epidemic. So I'm willing to grant. I didn't mean to cut you off in any way.
No. You picked up and added to where I was.
Thank you.
Where I was headed.
Okay. What is your feeling, Mr. Zarkov?
I'm willing to grant, given the discussion today. I largely agree with what's been said.
Okay. So for conditions, I have obviously no driving. Mental health evaluation and treatment is deemed necessary, and we have to do halfway house placement since the sponsor hasn't been confirmed, but that's if needed.
You do the carryover general contact because the BOPs are still active. The NS and YG.
We can. Would you like to?
I just have to.
I hadn't noted them, but we can if you would like.
I promise I will let y'all down.
It doesn't have to be. It was something. Just what was there? Sure.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking 2017, 2018.
Yeah.
Did you have anything to add?
Yeah.
So in the matter of Lionel Mosley, inmate number 298334, there is a motion to grant parole on or after your earliest eligibility date of July 30th, 2026, with the following conditions for your supervision. You are not to drive without the parole officer's permission. You're to engage in a mental health evaluation and treatment as deemed necessary. And you are to be afforded a halfway house if needed. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Parole is granted. Of course,
Thank you.
Mr. Mosley, this is, the end of July. So be patient and try to do some programming, and we wish you much success.
All right, the address, right?
I'm going to have the parole officer talk to you about that. For your sponsor?
Yes. All right, thank you. I won't let you guys down. I appreciate you.
Don't let yourself down, Mr. Mosley. You got
I won't let myself down either.
got a big hill to climb.
Thank you.
This concludes the hearing for Lionel Mosley.
Thank you.
She had to throw in the big hill to climb. I don't look. I think it's weird. I obviously he's been shot like 6 times. Sadly, I don't have any information to share that. There's nothing on it. I don't know. It must. I don't really know. They don't. I don't know. There's no articles. I'm guessing it obviously wasn't a police engaged shooting. Obviously, I don't know. I'm afraid to say obviously, but they don't get into it. Look, obviously he is not doing great, but I also don't believe that he needs to be in a wheelchair. I think that that's part of the manipulation. I mean, he literally started off his opening speech by saying that he wants to be there for his mother to help clean the snow off of her driveway, and unless he straps on some type of plow to his thing, I don't see how that's happening, and I don't think you can make that. I mean, it's funny when you think about it. How do you say that as your opening remarks? Forget that you're in the wheelchair, and plus he has the write up. You gotta believe the write-up, not his word. No, that never happened. I'm in a wheelchair. Oh yeah, they made it up. They completely made it up that you didn't. Guys, we can't be naive. We can't be stupid. Okay. He obviously he obviously can get out of the wheelchair. He's able if he wants to be. Yes, it's hard, but he's not I don't buy it for a second. And then also he's moving to a home when she even asked him, well, how are you gonna get in there? And he's like, downstairs, right? It's a downstairs. There are no stairs, and we magically have a ramp. They built that in. You know how hard it is to get. I've in the state of Connecticut to even get a ramp built for a wheelchair. There are so many regulations around it. It has to be like at an incline, a decline, like a split, like it has to go like this. Like to go down 3 feet, the cost is so much. It has to lap over like 3 times. It's just not. There's no way. But okay, look, we needed 1 grant in the mix, and I don't have a lot on his record. I have the arrests that they mentioned 2017, 2018, 2018. But I don't know. And then he has the one from 2024. I guess that just happened. Police pursuit. I don't know. That's why they kept saying no driving, because he was in a police pursuit. A lot of these guys were in police pursuits. But to think that he was, what was it? I don't even know. It's confusing. But hey, look, okay, all right, fine, he's out. I think one thing we'll know, because he's on paper until 2029. Do you think we'll see him again? If you think we'll see him again, make sure to leave a comment. Please leave a comment right for the final hearing, or the guy in the wheelchair or wheels or whatever, so that I can catch it. Let me know your prediction if you think we'll see him again, because if we do, I'm going to come back here and read your comments. The revocation hearing. I also the 40 and downhill. He's not wrong with that comment. Anyways, okay. So yeah, with that, I'll let you go.
So you have prior gun convictions in 1999 and 2000.
Yes.
As well as the 2014 and now this one in 2023.
Yes, ma'am.
So why is it when you are a convicted felon prohibited from possessing firearms and ammunition, you persist in doing so?
Foolish judgment.
Well, I think it's a decision on your part that you're not going to abide by the rules of our society.
No, ma'am. I definitely fully intend to abide by the rules.
But I'm talking about your past, not like what led you to the fact that you have 4 different convictions for gun possession says to us that you're not willing to live by the rules of our society.